Good morning, everybody. My name is Heather Young, and I am the owner of OhmFit Activewear. As Derek mentioned, I'm just a few doors down here on North Street in Uptown. When we got started, and I'll allude to this a little bit more, but just as a brief introduction, one of the things that I think that made us the most unique was when we got started, we started off as a mobile boutique. And we continue to offer that as one of our offerings. So in addition to having the brick and mortar location, we do travel around quite a lot and advertise ourselves and sell different wares in gyms and that sort of thing. So I kind of wanted to lay the groundwork. And so now we'll go ahead and get started with my presentation. And it was kind of a daydream, exactly that went a little awry. It was a beautiful, beautiful spring morning in 2012, and I was out walking. And I mean, the sky was blue, and the grass was green, and the irises were beautiful, and it was gorgeous. And it just really lent itself to me to be a wonderful opportunity just to kind of let my mind wander and, kind of ask yourself that philosophical question. If I could do anything in this world that I wanted to do, what would that look like? What would that be for me? And so I kind of started thinking about all the things that I love, and I should say, in addition to the fact that I love my family very much, my husband, my work, I mean, in addition to all those things, what is it that I really truly love to do? And for me, the answer, it was a two-part answer. One of which was, I really loved working out. Before I had my son, and he is 16 now, so in 2012 he was help me do the math really quick, he was 12. I was like over 200 pounds, and I had high blood pressure, and I had high cholesterol. I was on blood pressure medication, had a troubled pregnancy, really wasn't doing very well for myself health-wise. And so when Andy was 2, we just kind of had a moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really not setting a very good example. You're trying to do everything you can for your family, but I'm not setting a good example of health for my son. And so I started, that just hit me as hard as it could, and I started working out in our basement. And so we got the treadmill, and we got the tapes, and I was doing the step aerobics down in the basement. And I did that for as long as I could until Andy would come downstairs constantly and interrupt. And I was just like, okay, finally I joined the gym. And so that was in 2004. And I have to tell you, it really changed my life. I loved going to my gym. It was so much fun. It was very social for me. It was just an outlet to release all that, pent-up anxiety and tension. And loved it. And all of a sudden started noticing that, wow, it does work. And I am losing weight. And my cholesterol came down and it was phenomenal. And I finally did get off of the blood pressure medicine. So back to my daydream, I was walking. I'm like, God, I love very much working out and being in a gym and being in that environment with those people. I also really enjoy shopping. And so pairing those two together in my mind, you kind of laugh, just like Derek just laughed. Because how do you turn that into a paycheck? Okay, so it continued. And because I was so inspired by the space of being in a gym and the people that I was around, I thought, what if I could create a space? What if I could create an experience that would inspire women to live a healthier life? And what would that look like? What would that be to me? And to me, that was a retail space that would also have enough room in it that you could have like the beautiful plank wood floors, and you could have the studio where we would, not having gym equipment, because I don't want to be a gym. I don't want to duplicate what gyms offer in our community. But where we could bring in people who do teach at gyms, and personal trainers and yogis, where they could offer free experiences, where we could do a yoga class in my store space, and that would be at no charge. They would just be able to come in, and that would, in my mind, I'm like, that's great because I want to inspire women to be healthier, but it also increases traffic into the store. You've got people who are coming in on a regular basis. I kind of wanted just to present a town square kind of place where women could come and learn about being healthy and shop and really be motivated. Because in my heart of hearts, and this is what really struck home for me, is that I know that I work much harder in the gym. I could go to a kickboxing class and I would just slay it when I was wearing a really cute, brand new top that I had gotten while I was in Chicago shopping. I mean, it was like this beautiful Lucy outfit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this fits me, it looks good, and I am going to work really hard. And I did. I mean, I don't think I put the two together, but I just did. And so that is kind of the impetus for OhmFit Activewear. because I know that what we wear in the gym inspires us. And I think when we dress for success at work, as we do every day, I think dressing for success in the gym is equally as important. So once I was brave enough with this idea, I didn't talk about it with anybody, which if anybody knows me is a miracle, because I talk about everything with everybody. But it took me a while, I was processing it and continued and thinking things. And I finally got brave enough to talk to my husband about it, which is your sounding board, and I fully expected that. Heather, you gotta be kidding me, what are you thinking about? But instead, he really shocked me because he was very supportive of the idea. He knew that it was time for me to make a change. He knew that this was something that I was very passionate about. So we started talking about it. And of course, he's the smart one in our family, and I give him all the credit in the world because he's in charge of our money. And he's like, what you're describing is going to be expensive. You're going to need so much space, and you're going to need insurance because you're going to have women exercising, and you're going to have this and this and this. Why don't we start a little bit smaller? So, okay, what would that look like? Well, that is where we landed on providing the mobile boutique. So instead of providing that space where women could come, we decided we were going to take OhmFit Activewear, the clothing that motivates women to exercise and live a healthier life, and we take it to the gyms. And so that's what I felt was really, really kind of smart, is that rather than waiting and building a store space for women to come find me, which, you can't advertise a lot, you don't have a lot of money, you can't do a lot, and so you would just be waiting. Rather than waiting for them to come to me, I decided to take it directly to them in their native space where they're feeling very comfortable in their gym. And that was awesome. So what we did then is I took this idea to the Center for Emerging Entrepreneurs. Larry Matschoff was their managing director, and I knew Larry when he was over at the Bank of Illinois at another time. And I said, hey Larry, here's this idea, and what do you think about this? And at first he was just kind of like, oh, I don't know, retail is so hard, it's so hard. And then we described the mobile boutique to him, and he thought that that was pretty smart. Again, he's like, you know what, you're not putting your eggs into one basket, you're putting them into many baskets because you're going all over the community and showing off what you have to offer. So once Larry Matschoff said it was a good idea, I was like, wow, we really are onto something. So in his office, his staff assisted me with all kinds of research. The IBIS research that told me how gyms and sporting events and leisure activities were on the upswing. And he was exactly right. I mean, look at how gyms have just exploded in growth. He provided me lots of, like a list, literally a list. Here is what you need to do each step of the way. And I just did that and went through, and it worked out very, very nicely. In addition to that, we also, and again, this is where everybody who knows me knows, I was out talking with every small business owner who I knew. And so I was talking to Natalie Galligan of Shushy Baby, and Julie Cooch of Specs Around Town, and Jerry Sidek, who at the time owned a print shop and was a marketing genius. And so talking to all those people and accumulating all of their insights as to how to run a small business, that is where I really finally got the nerve to actually do this. So, I want to say one other thing in addition to all the research that we were doing. One of the most important things to me, and it's still the hallmark of what I'm doing at OhmFit Activewear in a brick and mortar and as our mobile boutique, is finding quality clothing. We all know that there are lots of outlets in town where you can go and buy a Nike t-shirt or an Under Armour t-shirt or things like that. And those just weren't right for me. It just wasn't working. I would go to Dick's and I would put on a pair of Nike shorts, and the waistband was just so small. And no matter how hard I'd been working out in the gym, it would just give me an instant little poof in my belly. That muffin top that would cause me rage beyond all rationale. And so there were other brands that were out there, like Lucy, or like Soybu, or like Karma, that we just didn't have very much of in town. And those were the quality brands that I was seeking to bring to Bloomington Normal. And so I started reaching out to them. And at the time, there really weren't very many brands to choose from. But then it just, in the last 3 years, it's totally exploded. But 3 years ago, there were just a handful of like really good, reputable brands. And so I started reaching out to them. I scoured their websites. I looked all over Google and would find, where they would have a wholesale link where I could go and apply to be one of their vendors. And I landed on several. I looked at my closet and found Lucy and Soybu were two common brands that I had. And what was important to me in that was that they lasted. I mean, I could wash them and wear them and beat them up, and it was unbelievable. And they still looked really nice. And in fact, I still have some of those pieces. The quality was really there. And so I applied for Lowly, I applied for a variety of different brands, and I got shot down. They just didn't understand the mobile boutique concept. A pop-up shop really wasn't as prevalent 3 years ago as it is now. And so they just didn't understand it. Well, Lucy, man, in my heart of hearts, could I please just carry Lucy? And so I applied, knowing that they were going to tell me no. And so, like, you know, I had my heart all steel for the no, and I was like, this is just really going to be the deal breaker. And actually, when my rep sent back the note in the email that said, yes, we would love to partner with your new business. Let's start something here. I saved that email. I still have that email. I referred to it often because I couldn't believe she actually said yes. It was just a miracle to me. But I knew we were onto something. And so quality and then the ability to be able to take that quality product directly to the consumer were the two keys to OhmFit Activewear in the beginning. And so, here's a little bit of information about some of the brands, just some pictures. We've got a lot of the Lucy, and we've got the Soy Boo showing there, another brand called Green Apple, that at the time was one of the brands that I carried. So, in all, from the time I was taking that beautiful spring walk to the time of my very first trunk show, which was held at Specs Around Town, was a little over a year and a half. I had been working full time. I was following my list of things to do that Larry Matchell had provided me, and really took my time. I actually took some time off in planning because I thought, you know, it was Christmas time, so from October until January, I'm like, I'm just going to put this away, and I'm going to see if it lasts. And it lasted. And so we went ahead and opened October the 4th, 2013 at Specs Around Town. It was at their first Friday. My very first customer was one of my very best friends, and I've got a picture of that transaction. It's just very fuzzy, so I didn't bring it to you today. So after this, for the next 18 months, we just traveled all around town. We would set up at Artful Designs. We set up at Lakeside Country Club. We would set up in all the different gyms, the Workout Company, Gold's Gym, Four Seasons, Fitness Plus, just all over the place. And so I definitely formed a lot of partnerships and relationships with a lot of gyms. And for that first 18 months, you know, we just really did a lot. Business was good. My gym partners were incredible. Everybody said yes. It was really very, very nice. So here's some examples of different places where we set up. And we continue to work with a lot of these partners today. Okay, so I needed to have a sale. It was time to get rid of some stuff and that had been older. And so we did those in my house. And so my whole upstairs, we've got like this nice, great big upstairs area where we've got a big bedroom, I've got a nice hallway, I had my office where I had racks set up. And so we were having a sale, and I invited a lot of my friends, and some customers had heard about it. And it was, you know, it was fine. It's in my bedroom. And it was just kind of that watershed moment for me when I had total strangers walking around my bedroom space that I realized that this is catching on. And I need a bigger space. I need a showcase kind of space. I wasn't really thinking a retail space at that point, but I was thinking a way to get it out of my bedroom because, gosh, that's just kind of awkward. And so I met with Fuller Therapeutic. And Fuller Therapeutic was located over in the Soldiers and Sailors. And they had a yoga studio. They offered aerobic classes, massage, and other holistic classes. And so I made the move from my bedroom office into the corner of their lobby in the Soldiers and Sailors. And I just had very limited hours. So it was kind of an appointment kind of concept where if you wanted to come and try some things on or shop, you would let me know. And then I would have some hours, you know, that we would advertise. So we opened that space. That was the spring of 2015. I think it was like in May, April or May of last year. About that same time, shortly after opening, I heard that there was space in Uptown that was coming available. Now, you may not know this about me, but I have spent a lot of time in Uptown. Prior to this, I worked over at the Children's Discovery Museum for many years and got to see this whole Uptown development take place and thought, oh my gosh, I'm going home. This is going to be like the coolest thing ever. So, on the other hand, taking this space would mean hiring staff, having a set schedule, which I hadn't had a set schedule for some time and kind of get used to that. And it would also up the ante as far as expenses were concerned. Now my landlord is the Town of Normal. And the Town of Normal treats this space as a small business incubator space. So the rent is low and the visibility is incredible. And so it was an opportunity that I could just not pass up. And so changed my life again and opened that space in August of 2015. And so now I'm just going to kind of flip through some photos, courtesy of Don Bergeron. Aren't these beautiful? Let me tell you what. So here's the outdoor area, our entrance. Right when you walk in, this is the area right here that's dedicated to Lucy. Lucy is still one of my hallmark #1 brands. My rep came in just this past week and I've seen spring of 2017 and let me tell you, it's going to be fabulous. I can't wait. Here's the space. We've got a variety of different brands now. In addition to Lucy, we carry Anjali, Karma, which is out of Vancouver, and they are a beautiful, beautiful brand of clothing. Soybu is still a hallmark. We also carry some dresses now made by Numu and running skirts. Also, the price point's high, and I'm not going to lie about that, but I think that that is a direct result of offering quality clothing. And so this is clothing that, yes, you're going to pay maybe $80 or $100 for a pair of yoga pants, which may seem outrageous. But you could have those in your closet longer than you would have a pair of $20 yoga pants. You would probably buy 5 pairs of $20 yoga pants in the time that you would spend in a pair of Lucy or Karma pants. We are kind of branching out a little bit of our offerings, trying to make things affordable without compromising quality. So we're offering now the Boulder Band headbands. We've got some motivational jewelry, started on some yoga mats. We've got some body care items. So making it so that anybody who walks into the store would have the ability to be able to walk out with something, because we want people to feel successful when they're in the store and motivated, #1. Here's the entrance. That's Lotus, because she's like, you know, my yoga mannequin. She never moves. She's great. And then here's the yoga mat spray. We've got water bottles now, socks, etc. So let me see where I am in this. Okay, so since our business model's changed, once I was all by myself. Now I've got a staff of 5. They work about 3 hours a week or so, and I built those hours in to support the fact that we still continue to do trunk shows. So we're out and about doing the different trunk shows. This is one that we did last week. We were at the new Satio, which is the wine bar in downtown Bloomington, and had quite a party there. Partnering with Uptown Gifts and with a local wine distributor. And so that's another key too for me, is huge partnerships. I mean, anywhere that I can build a partnership, Maria from Beyond Decadence knows that very well. I love making friends and doing things with people. I think we did some things the right way. I think that very, very certainly having the mobile boutique built our customer base. We made a lot of friends out there, a lot of customers who are willing to come to the shop and shop with us. And so that's awesome. Of course, the additional traffic here in Uptown is wonderful. And of course, each year since 2013, our sales have increased. And so I think things are in the right direction. You know, there are, of course, as with any business, there are challenges and opportunities. And so here are a list of some of the things that, and this has been great. I think preparing for this, you can get kind of stale sitting in your store, kind of waiting for people to come to you and, you know, doing the same thing. And this has been a wonderful experience, and I want to thank you all very much for letting me be here today, because it does make me think about some things for the future. Definitely one of the things that we need to be doing all the time is increasing awareness of OhmFit Activewear. Increasing traffic. I can sit in my store by myself a lot, and I don't really think that that's necessarily what I need to be doing. And then, of course, increasing sales. I was remiss in mentioning that our trunk shows we do in Bloomington Normal, but we also started doing trunk shows regionally. So we were going over to Champaign, we were going over to Springfield and Peoria, and so we've developed some relationships in Central Illinois. We are in July going to start offering, this is kind of phase 2 of my dream, was offering physical activity within my store space. Now, I don't know if you've been in my store space, but it's very, very small. And so we're going to start this off very small, and we're going to have some Pilates and yoga instructors coming in. We can move things around so that we can fit in about 6 or 8 women to participate. And I need to improve the website. And I think that it's just kind of a classic example of when I was with the museum and in other positions for 20 years, my role was marketing and public relations and doing websites. And it's funny, when you have your own website, you're just not very good at doing your own. And so I need to improve on mine. And in the future, there are questions. Will I be able to support a larger retail space? Will customer demand drive us there? And that's, of course, every woman's dream. One of the things that we do offer in one space here in Bloomington Normal at the Daily Method is like a mini OhmFit, where I've taken a corner of their space and have devoted that to my retail, and they get a percentage of those sales. So is that an opportunity? Can I increase awareness of OhmFit, the store space, but also increase sales? And this is a question that I have been asked 2 times, and when my Lucy rep asked me last week, it really kind of triggered a bell because she knows what she's talking about. And her question was, have you ever thought about franchising your trunk shows? And I had been asked once before, a lady in Minnesota somehow or another found out about OhmFit and was interested in repping for me. Now we're not that home-based network marketing kind of business, but if there is some interest out there in building a franchise business with the trunk show concept, that's something worth exploring. I can't say that that's something that we're definitely going to do, but it's an opportunity. And so that's it. I appreciate again very much being here with you guys today. Thank you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, so we're going to open up for the discussion then. And the one question we always ask at the beginning, and awesome presentation by the way, is very cool story behind
Sorry, I
it.
didn't pay attention to the time.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. You're the only speaker. It's all for you. But so one question we always ask is, what can the Slingshot community, or what can this Bloomington Normal community that's gathered here today, how can we help you?
Well, I think one of the ways that you can definitely help is just as you already have, sitting here and listening. As a PR and marketing person, the goal is always to raise awareness. And so some of you have probably never heard of OhmFit Activewear before, and I would love for you to come down and visit the store. If you guys want to come down this morning, I'm happy to just show it off to you. It's an adorable space. I can't believe how I lucked into this. I mean, the wood floors are gorgeous, and it's just the right size. And so I would love for you to come down and take a look. And then, if you have, people who are active or want to be active, send them my way. I mean, that's I'm not a hard sell. I just want to encourage people to live a healthier life.
Now I'm curious about.
You know me fairly well.
I'm curious about the whole franchising and all that, because that one company, the LaRue thing or whatever.
Oh,
I've been invited so many times to those things, but I do not like the style. It's not my style. Your style is what I like and wish I could buy more of. That the brand. So is there any thought, something like that, like doing, they do it on a time-based thing?
That could, I really honestly have not given it the due thought that it deserves. And I just honestly, I can't tell you.
I was just wondering, because I see that floating around.
Because I think the woman, and I can't think of her name, but I think she bought all of that. And so she bought that directly from the company, Lulu or whatever they're called. And so she's this deep in inventory, which I don't know if necessarily, do I want to have people who are like buying into the inventory? And then I would just take I don't know how it works. I really don't know. I didn't even really ever, when I was thinking about going into business, look into a franchise, buying into a franchise. I wanted to make my own. And so I need to do my research.
I was just curious because I see that floating around. And it's time-based, That's it's based on, this is for sale this hour.
Yes.
And you go and bid on it.
Well, and that's a lot, that's on Facebook a lot, right?
Yeah, right.
That's how she runs it.
That's how they do it. They take pictures and then that's how they make their sales, like in a certain time frame.
Gotcha.
And it's based,
Well, and like Apricot Lane does a very similar kind of thing too, where they'll promote things and women are buying it, either off their Facebook page or they're buying it online. And that's something too that we can talk about. I never have ever had any interest in doing any online sales. That's not where I want to go. And a lot of that is in large part because I was so frustrated as a shopper when I was buying things from different brands that you had to order online because I wouldn't love what I got. I really want to feel it and touch it and try it on and know what I'm getting. Because I hate going to the post office to send things back. I just hated it. And so there are lots of online companies out there. That's not going to be me.
Have you ever thought about doing like a shotgun sale on Facebook where it's like one and only this size, an hour or two bid on it and have people kind of claim it and.
I wonder, I hesitate on that. I think that's a great idea, and I would love to do it, because let me tell you, one of the things that I've got a lot of in my store that I would love to get rid of are a lot of extra smalls. It's interesting, extra smalls, I don't have customers, and I don't have a lot of extra large customers. And so when you're looking at my sale rack, it is a lot of those. And so, yes, we've done some, like, we'll put together an outfit, and we'll fold it very neatly and put it on the floor. And we'll describe what it is and what its price point is. And, if you're interested, let me know. And maybe that's worked once or twice. I think I would just really need to refine how to do that and let people know that we're going to do that, so that they're paying attention. Is that something that we do live? And so does that get people's attention more? Do we say, hey, look out, do I send an email to everybody saying we're going to be doing, that might raise that awareness and participation.
Right.
Because I don't really enjoy it when, like, I put something out there and you get zero response, because then you feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And I don't personally enjoy feeling like a failure. Does not work well for my ego.
Heather, I think you were kind of a pioneer in the whole mobile boutique concept here in Bloomington Normal.
I give that credit to Julie Coop. She did it years before I did.
Really?
Yeah. It was an interesting parallel. When I did my first ribbon cutting for my 1-year anniversary at Julie's at Specs Around Town. And really, I knew she had been mobile, but didn't really ever put it together that we shared this mobile business in common. And so we were doing our ribbon cutting, and she's like, well, do you mind if I say a few words? And I'm like, please. And so here, this really wildly successful retail merchant, I mean, she's amazing in my opinion. She started off in her little VW Bug, and she would travel around to different homes and businesses, and she would sell glasses. And her office space was Bagelman's. So when she did her ribbon cutting, she did her ribbon cutting at Bagelman's, because that's where she spent a lot of her time. And so, but go on, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Wow.
So good.
No, that's okay. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's really pretty cool.
I know you pretty well, but I still want to ask this question, because it's one thing I think a lot of business owners struggle with, because as you alluded to, and we all know, it's expensive. What do you do for marketing and advertising beyond? Do you do anything other than what you've mentioned in your presentation?
We just do a lot of Facebook, because Facebook is so inexpensive, and I really feel like those people self-selected OhmFit Activewear is something that they're interested in, and so I don't feel bad beating up on them and giving them lots of information. Some of my most successful things are that we collect every single person's email address, because we don't print receipts in store. I've never been able to carry a printer around to all the gyms that I go to. And so for every customer I have their email address. And so I send them, we'll do a MailChimp email, so I don't even pay for email because I'm so cheap. And we'll email them and let them know of opportunities that are coming up. Places will be, I'm having a sidewalk sale. That seems to really, these are people who are already interested. That really seems to be working. Now, as far as reaching out to new customers, which is something that we should always be thinking about, I really rely a lot on the gyms. When I'm out and about and I'm seeing people for the first time, with all of the clothes and everything, it gives me an opportunity to meet new people. We'll do a little bit of radio here and there. I really like radio promotions. I don't really like necessarily straight ads, because that's so expensive and I just can't afford it. But I think, like, when WB&Q does a special closet promotion, and gosh, my clothes do fit very nicely into a closet, I'll partner with that. So if there's little niche things where we fit in. Right now I'm doing a Pantograph ad where they did that, they're featuring small businesses, and they've got a page every Friday. Here I am selling for Pantograph. Every Friday they've got a great big page that's devoted to small businesses, and for $100 a month you get 4 ads a month, which is incredible. So, I try and do as much as I can for as little money as possible. Any suggestions? Anything else that, I could be doing, please let me know.
Did you find it difficult to collect information at your trunk shows? Or
As far as email addresses?
Yeah, the trunk shows and the
No,
mobile
because
boutiques.
women want the receipt. And so, and that's just how we start. Have you shopped with me before? No, well, we need your email address, because we will be emailing you a receipt. We don't have a printer. I've had one customer in our almost 3 years who said, no thanks. We just, or, they are very, we're not shy. If we don't want you to email us all the time, we'll just say, yeah, you can email me a receipt, but don't add me to your list. I don't want to get your email. And we've had a few people who've said that, but for the most part, no. And when I send an email out, and I've got like 1,000 email addresses now, when I send one out, I might have like 3 to 5 people who will unsubscribe. Hurts my feelings every time.
I've got a question. So my buddy and I are starting a business, and we're having a mobile aspect to it. So I'm very, it's very cool that you're doing that. So I was curious, when you are reaching out to these places that you're doing your trunk shows, I imagine obviously in the beginning you were probably reaching out to everyone.
Yes.
Like, was there a point where people reach out to you? Are you still?
Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, what is like the percentage? Would you say like now people reach out to you more than you reaching out to people, or?
No, it's a really good day when I get a phone call saying, hey, we're having, a lot of them will think of me for events. And so when they're having a member event and they're putting together vendors, then that's an easy phone call, and they do think of us. Just what we generally tend to do is we are the event. And so, I will call in the workout company and I'll say, hey, Carol, I would love to come and set up a trunk show in your space. And she'll say, oh, absolutely, no problem. And so, we just set that up. And, I build a calendar a month or two in advance and, schedule in the trunk shows, schedule staff around those to make sure that the store is covered. We got a phone call the other day from Heartland Community College. They're putting together a health and wellness event in August. And so we're going to participate in that.
Cool.
I love it when people think to call us. I think that's great. But there's lots of people who still don't know about us, and so I am happy to call on. And in fact, I've in my mind got 3 or 4 places that I'm going to be calling in the next few weeks to schedule some August shows.
And I actually have a second question then too. I was just curious, have there ever been any trunk shows for places that you were like, ooh, I'm not coming back here again?
And
you don't have to name names, but I'm just curious what that experience.
As I was writing my speech for today, we are very much more discerning about where we go. I think I felt like my worth was measured in the beginning in the number of trunk shows that I would be able to offer.
Okay.
So when my husband, who was my financier, was like, well, what are you doing this month? I'd let him know, hey, I've done all these trunk shows. I didn't mention the fact that I would go to one place and I didn't sell a thing.
Wow.
Or people weren't interested in me at all. And so you just, we just have to develop a tough hide about it. And it's okay, that just wasn't the right place for us to be. Or that just wasn't the right time for us to be there. And, I'm not afraid to call and ask again,
Cool.
2 or 3 times, and then I'll be like, okay, message received.
Yeah.
But other than that, you just keep trying.
Very cool.
I have another question.
Yeah.
How did you balance, because, I'm going to kind of brag on you a little bit. You were the one that gave me the verbiage to describe what I do, and I forever am indebted to you.
Does everybody know here what you do?
I wasn't excited.
She's a baker. She's a
Pastry
fabulous pastry chef. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
But you were the one who gave me the verbiage to describe what I do, because I knew what I did, but I was having trouble to explain it to everyone else. And
Sure.
you came up with and said, why don't you describe it as a mobile/pop-up bakery, and then everybody got it without me stumbling and taking 5 minutes to explain what I was trying to do. So I'm really appreciative to you for that always. But the one question I have is, did you find when you were doing all the mobile boutiques and doing all the trunk shows, did you go through a sense of burnout where you're doing too many, or maybe you're saying yes to too many and not saying no to some?
Well, and especially when you're all by yourself.
Right.
And yes, and then I learned from that. And I don't want to say that. I think that there were times that we were so busy going and setting up and tearing down. I mean, sometimes 2 times a day, we would be doing shows. But then there would be times where I didn't have anything for an entire week. And so I think in my mind, I just decided that that's going to have to be my balance, because there's going to be downtime and I'm going to be wishing that I was busy. And so I think that I just built, and you're in control of your own calendar, and if one that you have an inkling is not going to be as successful as the other and you just can't do it all, then you just pick the one that's going to be best for you. But yeah, you get tired. You do.
Because you did it by yourself, or when
I still do it by myself. I don't let anybody else do my trunk shows. I really feel like I'm my best representative.
Sure.
And my staff are great. They're really, really good. It's just that it's mine, and there's a difference. Yes?
2 questions. One is, were you working full-time when you first started the business?
I left my job that last week of September and started the trunk show October 4th.
So you did your preparation?
I did,
all
yes.
while you were sober?
Yeah. I had some vacation time banked, and so when it came time to seriously get the point of sale together. You know, when I was really having to spend some very focused length of time, I took vacation around that. So it was funny. We recarpeted our entire upstairs of our house that same week that I was programming everything in for our first trunk show. I'm not very smart about staggering things a little bit, but it's how it worked.
Sure. The other question I have is, do you remember what the difference in cost was between trying the trunk show out and opening your own store?
Well, you know, I think that it's not, I don't have a true measure of that. I'm in a space that is an incubator space, and so my rent is ridiculously cheap. And so I think the whole purpose is to see if I can make a go of it in the future. You know, we're building right now so that in the future we can afford market rent. So I'm very appreciative of that opportunity. My expenses my expenses really haven't increased that awfully much, having the store space. I've got rent, I have to have dedicated Wi-Fi for the store space. And, you gotta have insurance and things like that. So I think that probably the most expensive thing that I've added to our expenses have been staff and insurance. And that's just the nature of the beast. And I did have insurance before and I learned this when I had my first trunk show at Artful Designs, which I don't know if you know is a porcelain. I mean, they've got all kinds of, and I had a rack that actually tipped over. And thank God we didn't break anything. But I'm like, oh my gosh, if I had broken her pottery, I would have owed her for that. And so that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I need insurance. Help me now. I was lucky. Can you imagine Wendy? Oh my gosh, I would have been in so much trouble. Another small business owner, she's great.
Did you have an exit plan that you figured out before you started?
For the business? No. And I know I should have one. I think in my heart of hearts, I'm building a brand. I'd love to be able to sell at the store when it's all said and done. I just don't have any intention of doing that all too soon. We're still a work in progress. I really, in my mind, have dedicated, unless the money just runs out, I've dedicated like the next 10 years. When Jeff, I'm almost 47, so I'll work forever. As long as I can carry those racks around, I'll do it. I'm working out, right? All right, well, thank you all very much.
Yeah, we'll open it up for networking.